And here's the third Kohlberg Dilemma for Justin. So the situation is that Joe is a 14-year-old boy who wanted to go to camp very much. His father promised him he could go if he saved up the money for it himself. So Joe worked hard at his paper route and saved up the $40 it cost to go to camp, and a little more extra. But just before camp was going to start, his father changed his mind. Some of his friends decided to go on a special fishing trip, and Joe's father was short of the money it would cost. So he told Joe to give him the money he had saved from the paper route. Joe didn't want to give up going to camp, so he thinks of refusing to give his father the money. Do you think Joe should refuse to give his father the money?
Yes, I think in this case, obviously, since Joe earned the money, it's definitely money that he should use for himself in this case, especially when it's your parent. I think he probably feels like he should give the dad the money, but I feel in this case that he should use it because he worked for it to accomplish a goal, and I think that's really important for him to achieve.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe if the dad were asking for something greater, like if he were sick and he needed the money for something otherwise, that Joe should maybe give him the money for that?
Yeah, that's a little different. Obviously, the dad wants to do something more personal. Yeah, when it comes more to taking care of other people, yeah, I would definitely then probably say that Joe would probably want to help out his parents, especially if they can afford something. I think that happens a lot in our world today of children trying to help their parents financially.
Right. Do you think Joe's dad has the right to tell Joe to give him the money?
No, absolutely not. I don't think a parent or anyone else should tell someone that they, tell their child that they have to give them the money. Especially when Joe earned it himself, Maybe if it was like the dad gave him an allowance, it could be a different scenario. But this is certainly Joe earning it himself. I think he's entitled to do whatever he wants with his money.
All right. Do you think giving the money has anything to do with being a good son?
I don't think so. I don't think giving your dad money makes you a good son or not. I think he's already, if he's doing his own job and stuff, I think it's already definitely on the path of not already being a good son.
Yeah. Is the fact that Joe earned the money himself important, like you said? So you believe that's crucial to this situation? That Joe earned the money himself?
Yeah, of course. Like I said before, obviously if it was just his allowance, it'd be definitely a different story than him earning his money. His father shouldn't be able to tell him what he can do with his money.
Right. So the father promised Joe he'd go to camp if he earned the money. Is the fact that the father promised the most important thing in the situation? The fact that the dad promised that he could? Do you think that's most important?
Not sure if I understand what you're asking.
So the fact that Joe's dad promised Joe that he could go to camp and now he's taking that back, do you think that the promise is the main part of the situation? That he's breaking that promise?
In my opinion, no. I think I'm just going to go back to the money thing. I think asking your kid for money that they've earned from a job is kind of wrong. If you're pretty much Joe is trying to do something for personal for his life, and his dad is taking his money to do something personal in his life, which I don't think is right. I mean, obviously, I think the promise is an important part, but I don't think it's the most important part.
Right, but do you think that typically a promise between a child and a parent should be kept?
Oh yeah, that's something that should definitely be kept.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to keep a promise to somebody that you'll never see again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Right. And what do you think is the most important thing a father should be concerned about in his relationship to his son? With this scenario.
Okay, that narrows it down a little bit. I was trying to think about all the things. I still think it comes down to the money. I think the father should be really happy for his son in this case, and definitely encourage him to go to camp and support him while he was doing his job, support him while he's going to the camp. Just be really positive about the whole thing. Especially this is obviously the son's first time doing this. I think that just needs to be really supportive. I think by obviously asking for the money, that's kind of having the opposite effect and can cause kind of a weird rift between the son and the dad.
Yeah. So do you think that the money is the most important thing? Or do you think that with the relationship with Joe and his dad, that his dad should understand that everything Joe did, he earned himself, and that it's important to keep what you say to your son and not try to take things away from him?
So you're asking me if it's more important about the money or about the dad's promise?
Well, yeah, but basically, what is the most important thing a son should be concerned about in his relationship with his father? Do you think he should be concerned about money, or do you think that he should be concerned that if he doesn't give this money to his dad, that his dad won't be happy with it?
I don't think the son should have ever been concerned about to begin with. I think that this should be a situation that a dad should never put on his kid. I guess in this scenario, I guess the son has to be concerned with the dad obviously asking him for money. I think it's kind of weird. But I don't think a son should ever be concerned about these things in his relationship with his dad's being a good dad.
Yeah. What would you say is the most responsible thing for Joe to do?
He should certainly tell his dad, obviously, that his original goal was to go to camp and to work for the money in order to go to camp, and that's what he's going to do. And that, obviously, tell his dad that he's not going to be giving him the money. And then go ahead and go to camp. I think that'd be the best thing to do, because he addresses the problem with his dad asking for money, and he still accomplishes his goal of going to camp and working. I think that's the best scenario for him.
Right, thank you. That's it for this scenario.